All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. This is for December 22nd, 2025. Global tensions are escalating fast, Middle East to the Caribbean, and multiple flashpoints are now unfolding at the same time. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Middle East and Israel. There are renewed warnings to Iran. Intelligence reports are suggesting that Tehran may be preparing a direct preemptive strike. Israel has also formed a new regional alliance with Greece and Cyprus. And then, of course, there are some conflicts that are going on that are breaking out in Syria, and military activity is intensified inside Iran itself. Fighter jets reported over major cities. In the Americas, the United States pressure on Venezuela is increasing. The United States Navy failed to seize a Venezuelan linked oil tanker that escaped into the Atlantic. Major cyber attack has crippled Venezuela's state oil company. Caracas has accused Washington of economic warfare, and other actions could impact the global energy markets, whereas Russia has denied reports it was evacuating diplomats, and you'll probably only hear that here, where everybody else will use it to be hyperbolic and not tell you the whole truth. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that's not going on. Globally, military readiness is increasing. The United States has expanded surveillance operations in Africa. They're reinforcing Southcom, and there's a major AI partnership that is going on between a certain trillionaire, or almost, and the United States government. China is expanding its nuclear missile forces, and of course there are economic warning signs, and hopefully you checked out what is going on over on PrepperNow. We just did a video over there. I'm doing a new style over there and went over fantastic, super happy about it. But as it pertains to the financials, Japan's bond yields are surging. Americans are trying to hold multiple jobs just to make ends meet, and there's a growing concern over the global financial status. And that is your crisis report for December 22nd, 2025. Friends, let's get started on this sucker. We appreciate you being here. Here we go. And of course, you can find this on the Substack, as well as other links in the description. Global conflict rising. Here we go. Russia has started evacuating the families of its diplomats from Venezuela, effective immediately. Epstein self-harm video, if you know what I mean, now going viral and uploaded to the DOJ website, is fake. It was posted on YouTube more than 5 years ago and appears to have been created using 3D rendering software. Hunter Biden now claims his so-called laptop from H-E-double hockey sticks was fabricated, saying it was a cobbled-together mishmash of stolen, concocted digital material made up of thousands upon thousands of emails spanning 25 years. Yep, that's right. President Trump says the United States needs Greenland for national security. He said, quote, "We must have it." And he's not giving up until he gets it. So Denmark is not happy about that. Israel, Cyprus, and Greece have formed an alliance against Turkey. Benjamin Netanyahu is threatening Erdogan, saying, for those who dream of restoring their Ottoman empires, this will not happen. The United States is launching surveillance operations over Nigeria, following Trump warning of an existential threat to Christians, according to Reuters. And Call of Duty creator Vince Zampella has been killed in a car crash. He was age 55. And yes, Netanyahu is threatening Iran again. He said, I want to convey here clearly to Iran, any action against Israel will be met with a very sharp response. Trump says the United States will keep the oil from the seized Venezuelan oil tanker. Quote, we're going to keep it. And Trump has threatened Maduro, saying if he wants to do something, if he plays tough, it'll be the last time he's ever played tough. He'll be able to play tough. It'll be the last time you're able to play tough. The United States Navy has failed to seize the Bella 1 oil tanker, which had been pursuing off the coast of Venezuela since early yesterday morning, according to ABC. The vessel managed to escape into the Atlantic. Imagery of MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida is showing a major buildup of aircraft including 2E, 3C, Sentry, Airborne Early Warning and Control, or AWACS, and 28 KC 135R Stratotanker refueling. Those are the kind of things you need up in the air if you're going to drop the hammer. And there's a lot of people that are saying the hammer is about to get dropped. Israeli sources say that Iran is preparing a direct preemptive attack on Israel. The war may begin within the next few days. Iran held missiles and defense drills today. Lots of visuals of things in the sky. Thai Navy's 1st Naval Air Command launched the operation using Krabi-class patrol vessels to bombard 2 gun positions near Ban Paklong on Koh Yo, opposite Ban Hat Lek in Thailand's Klong Nye district. Intelligence confirmed that guns' firing range covered Thai territory, prompting the preemptive strike on military targets only, including Cambodian command buildings. Missiles and fighter jets were seen flying over several major cities in Iran. Pentagon officially enters into an agreement with XAI, building on the rapid deployment of cutting-edge AI across the department's 3 million military and civilian personnel. China has likely loaded more than 100 ICBMs into silo fields, says the Pentagon report. We talked about that earlier on the alert. Thanks for going there. That video did well for me. They're the Dongfang. They're the big ones. And, yep, they're getting them ready. A lot of things moving, a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people moving stuff into a war footing. China likely loaded more than 100 ICBMs in silo fields, Pentagon said. UK is pursuing a provocative policy aimed at withdrawing the United States into a confrontation with Russia. British Foreign Affairs journalist Frank Wright told TASS, commenting on a statement to FSB Director Alexander Bortnikov, the Ukrainian security services carry out terrorist attacks and sabotage in Russia under the guidance of British agencies. If such policy is taking place, it's obviously reckless and provocative. I think that in the case, this would represent a deliberate attempt to provoke an overwhelming Russian response and thereby trigger direct United States involvement, journalists said. So that is the Russian state news basically saying that Britain is playing with fire. Lady Graham says that anything that weakens Israel weakens America. They are producing ballistic missiles in Iran in a very high number. They were degraded before, but I think the next attack, if there is an attack, and there will be, would be focused on their ballistic missile capability. Pickaxe Mountain, I am looking at you, buddy. It's coming, folks. If you haven't seen the latest video from PrepperNow on the geopolitical stuff going on, I said that's the number one problem right there, is that we're going to probably see around 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, between Iran and Israel. That's coming up this year in 2026. Russia's foreign ministry says the reports by the Associated Press about supposed evacuation of its embassy from Venezuela are false. A lot of places are reporting that. I'm sure the prepper channels are going nuts saying, whip, 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 alert, alert. No, if the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is coming out and saying that's BS, chances are it's probably not as crazy as they're making it sound. Initial reports of clashes between government-backed Arab Bedouin tribes and Druze factions in Sueda, southern Syria. There's a lot of problems going on in Syria with the SDF and the Druze and the Alawites and all of them having conflict. Kurds. Chavista regime warns that the United States blockade of oil tankers will affect the global economy. They will affect the supply of oil and energy and increase the instability of international markets. Reuters reports that the Venezuela's state-owned PDVSA oil company suffered a cyber attack, not recovered, systems remaining down. Most oil cargo deliveries are being suspended as a result of it. Meanwhile, Venezuela's tankers loading decreased this Monday, and the vessels are transporting oil between national ports, unable to take it out of Venezuela. PDVSA and the oil ministry blamed the U.S. for the cyber attack on Monday, saying it was carried out by foreign interests in complicity with domestic entities who were seeking to destroy the country's right to sovereign energy development. They allege the attack was part of the United States' efforts to control Venezuela's oil through force and piracy. And the United States enforces and expands its blockade. Additional strike and support assets have arrived. 14, VTANG F-35A deployed to Puerto Rico. 121st Contingency Response Squad is at SDQ. United States Air Force U-28A Draco EC-130H Compass Call MC-130J. Per POTUS, MT Bella 1 is still on the run, and 14 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters with Vermont Air National Guard 158th Fighter Wing deployed last week to Roosevelt Roads, Puerto Rico. That's what's going on there. United States Southcom announces another lethal strike to international waters against a vessel operated by alleged drug traffickers in the Eastern Pacific. United States intelligence said the vessel was moving along known narco-trafficking routes and engaged in trafficking operations, with one male killed from the strike and no U.S. forces harmed. Good. Russian Foreign Ministry rejected the reports from the AP that they are evacuating embassy staff and their families from Venezuela, calling the claim an outright lie. That came from the European Union. John Brennan is now the subject of a Florida grand jury investigation. Japan's 10-year government bond yield has surged to a record 2.1%. That's now up 100 basis points in 2025. Just as you think Japan's situation can't get worse, it is getting worse. It is bad to the bad to the bad. You need to be watching the JGYs, that's Japanese government yields, because they are they're going in a bad way, folks. Working one job is no longer enough to cover living costs here in the good old United States of America. The number of multiple job holders surged 499,000 in October and November for a record 9.3 million. Figure has risen 3.9 million since the 2020 low. This is also 1.2 million above the 2008 financial crisis peak. And I keep seeing that number, which is why I know that things are not as good as they seem. Everything that I'm seeing is that they'll say, it hasn't been this low since 2008. We haven't seen these numbers since 2008. That's on par with 2008. I've seen that multiple financial things today and in the last month, which tells me that things are not so hot. A record 122.4 million Americans are expected to travel this holiday season. Gas prices have hit a 4-year low of $2.85 a gallon nationally. Investors are extremely bullish. Bank of America's bull and bear indicator is up 0.6% over the last few days, trading days, to 8.5, re-entering extreme bull territory. The index measures hedge fund and fund manager positioning, equity and bond flows, and market breadth. The world is burning more coal than ever. Global annual coal demand is up to a record 8.85 billion metric tons. Annual coal consumption has surged 1.4 billion tons since 2020. Increase has been driven primarily by China, and there you go. Demographic challenges are rising. The number of Americans, families with children under 18 is down to 33 million. That's the lowest since 1993. Now, keep in mind, the population of America at that time was much lower. Figures declined by 3 million since 2008, despite the U.S. population increasing by 36 million people. That is quite a shift. Full-time employment is falling at an alarming pace. The United States economy lost 983,000 full-time jobs in October and November, bringing the total down to 134.2 million, lowest since December 2021. As a result, just 78.2% of the labor force is now employed full-time, and that's a low. So people just have to work more and more. It is what it is. People are not getting by. They're not able to make ends meet. And so now they need multiple jobs. They need multiple incomes. They just need multiple. Things are not going well. The United States leveraged loan market is under pressure. The default rate for leveraged loans was above 4% for 22 consecutive months, matching the 2008 financial crisis streak. Downturn lasted 2 times longer than during the 2020 Rona. However, in November, the default rate was, I'm sure, different. Gold futures have surged over 4,500 for the first time in history. That is now up 70% on the year. Gold is now on track for its biggest yearly gain since 1979. Let's check out the silver price right now. It was at $69.75. It's only up 1.44% at $69.55. But things are doing quite well for the plata, the silver, and the gold as well, the oro. And there you have it. So, friends, thanks for being here. That is your crisis report for December 22nd, 2025. Possibly consider becoming a member here. If not, it's all good. We appreciate you being here. I know this is a late one. I had to get the new style down over at the old PrepperNow. We'll keep going that. I'm sure it won't do anything different to what they do here. But the good news is, for those in the background that are listening, I'm broadcasting this onto multiple streams now, and my plans are going to go much farther beyond what goes on here. So, we know how the game is played, folks, and we're going to keep playing it, and we won't stop. Why? Because I'm a stubborn SOB. I appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell, get the notifications, which you won't. Try to hide the video, which you won't be able to, and do everything you can to help PrepperNow as we get you the most comprehensive news on YouTube from a guy that basically does this for a living, if you think about it, in my private life, and really cares that you are prepped and ready for the terrible things to come. That's why we do it. I do it for my kids. I want to know what's around the corner. Take my knowledge, take whatever it is I put here, and use it to your benefit. I can tell you right now that you need to be doing things that will sustain your wealth and get ready for hard financial times. I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination, but what I'm doing is getting prepped for financial hard times, then inevitably global conflict. But I could be wrong. Let's hope I am. God bless you all. Find the links in the description to Gab Minds, Truth, Twitter X, Substack, where you have a full transcript of this right here. Consider becoming members on Subscribe Star Locals, or just a member here, like Water Tiger, as a member on YouTube to keep the old Borgerino from dropping the hammer, which he seems to be doing a lot lately. God bless and have a great night.